Hello, beautiful people, and welcome back to my YouTube channel, Beauty Meets Business. I am your girl, the empowering Angel Robinson, and we're here today with my girl, the one and only Rakia of HB Hair Studios and Hair in the Blog. So we're going to talk about the state of the industry today as we know it, and I'm starting here on the first day of my journey in my hometown, Cleveland, Ohio. Beautiful people, you see I'm repping. I'm starting here because this is home for me, and I want everybody to understand moving forward that in order to build a successful beauty industry business, you got to have leadership. So we're going to talk today about the business and the beauty, but more importantly, 80% business, 20% hair. So let's hear from Rakia. Rakia, introduce yourself.
Hello, I'm Rakia. As Angel stated, I am the owner of HB Studio. I am the founder of Hair in the Blog and the creator of the Industry Award Show. I've been in the beauty industry for 15 years, straight out of high school. So I've seen the industry transition a lot through my tenure in the beauty industry. So that's who I am.
Wow. Like looking at her, you wouldn't even tell that she's been licensed for what, 15 years?
15 years.
Like
yes.
You look like a baby.
15 years as of May. I started at 17. I graduated from high school in May. No, I got my hair license in May, graduated in June. I had my first booth in July, and I've been in the beauty industry ever since.
What was your first booth? Where did you work at initially after school?
I was at Headlines by DeFranco on Mayfield. I started off as a shampoo assistant, and then I was coming in doing my hair. I could obviously tell that I was like locked in on the beauty industry because I was coming at that time doing my own hair. I was open to experiment things. I was really learning as an assistant.
Wow.
And I remember being on the school bus on my way to graduation rehearsal, and Michi had called and was like, "When are you getting your booth?" And I was like, "My booth?" Because I was so scared. I was 17. And I was like, "A booth?" And she was like, "Yeah, a booth."
Right.
And I'm like, "I don't know. I'm on my way to graduation rehearsal." And conversations took place, and I got my booth in July.
And you were 17 years old.
I was 17 years old. Mm-hmm.
Do you feel like you were ready, or do you feel like you were equipped at that time at 17 to take on such a responsibility of having your own booth? Or did you felt like you were ill-equipped and you should have stayed an assistant until you learned more? Or how do you feel?
I think that the timing was right. I think that the environment and people that I was around, I was in a teaching environment. I was young, I was hungry, I was excited about the beauty industry, so I was very teachable at that time.
Teachable.
I was very teachable. I was open to learn. I was very excited at that time. I was fresh out of high school. I was new to the beauty industry. I was working with some of the hottest people in the city. I was excited, you know, so I showed up every single day, and I was kind of brought up around it. My mom, her friends, my godmom, they were like all in the beauty industry, so I saw it. I was so familiar with the beauty industry, so I think that the timing was right. I think that I had the skills. The skills that I needed was being put into me,
right.
And like I said, I was teachable, so I just was there to learn.
Right. After you left, how long were you at Headlines?
So I started fall of my junior year because one of the stylists in there needed a shampoo assistant. So I started about December of my junior year, and then I did an entire year all the way into my senior year as an assistant, and then July of 2008 is when I started, and I probably was only there for a few months, and then a transition happened and Michi closed that location.
Got you.
And that was a big shift. That was the first shift that I experienced in my career, because at that time she was moving to her Richmond location that she now has, which was like at that time like 25 stations or something.
Right.
And the person who I was assistant for one person, but I was learning from another person.
Gotcha.
And when that change happened, I had to make a decision for myself because, of course, Michi wanted me to stay with her. Mm-hmm. But she was the hot salon in the city. You know, I had all this promo in the Horizon magazine and stuff like that. That was headlines and stuff like that. I had a fresh short haircut straight out of hair school. My mentor at the time was keeping me fly on all my photo shoots, but I was left with a pivotal decision at that time after about a year, which was I either went to the hot salon that was trending in the city, or I went and followed my mentor who was getting ready to open up a salon, which was when Edith was opening a bang salon on Mayfield. And it was either you go where it's hot and it's trendy, or you go with the person who's pouring into you and teaching you and grooming you into the stylist that you desire to be. Wow. And as much as I was very sad because I was learning so much from everybody who was there. And I was the youngest person in the room, so I was soaking up everything. Sonny and Jimmy was in there doing crazy colored quick weaves, and I was learning it all. So I had to make a decision, and I ended up going with Edith, and that's when I started my journey at Bangs. And I learned it was a learning environment. I still to this day think that was the better decision. Okay. Because of everything that I learned, and yeah.
How long were you with Bangs?
I was with the Bangs. I've been in the beauty industry for 15 years, 12.
Wow.
13 years. Because I did a year at another coworker salon for the time that I was transitioning to my own space. So that was a year. We did 6 months prior to her opening up Bangs. So we had to go somewhere temporarily until Bangs was opened up. So yeah, I want to say about 13 and a half years I spent at Bangs.
13 and a half years. So you were literally working with another salon for 14 years, you would say, altogether, before you opened up your own salon. Yep. 14 years. Like, you the first person I met that worked somewhere for 14 years before opening up your own business. Everybody else is so gun-ho to get straight out of hair school to open up either a suite or go get a booth or go own their own business. What would you tell those people?
I would tell, and I still tell that, it saddens me when I hear people who are leaving hair school or just not putting the time in another person's establishment. I would still be in a hair salon working with somebody else if I did not have the vision of hair in the blog, and I didn't know that I had another duty to the beauty industry. I sacrificed my salon environment and working with other people and working in other people's establishment because I know that my purpose in the beauty industry was something different. Not because I didn't like like working in a salon or had a problem with paying somebody's booth rent. That was not my thing at all. But I think that people now, they need to go into these salons first, and not just any salon, a teaching salon, somewhere that can teach you, that you can learn even when somebody is not talking to you directly. You know, you can just read the room and just learn what you need to learn. You know, you can put yourself in environments where you seeing stuff being done and you can just easily go over and ask questions. You know, you can, if you need assistance, you can speak to that. You know, I think that that's such a important thing in the beauty industry that we're lacking right now, and I don't understand how we got here. I think social media may have had a lot to do with it, but I would definitely suggest people to start in a salon first. Do your time in the beauty industry. See if, just because once you get on this side of it, it's not always what it seems. You
heard what she just said.
Yeah, it's not always what it seems. It's absolutely nothing wrong with paying booth rent and learning. You can still grow your business and be your own person, not boss, but you know, you can still be your own person and grow your own brand and just have your own individual talents. It's nothing wrong with it.
Right. People always ask me too, Ricky, it's funny you even saying that. People say, Angel, how are you still relevant today in the beauty industry? It's because I stayed in an open air salon where I was able to gravitate off of other professionals. So my styles stayed relevant because I stayed around other very young stylists that were doing all the hot styles like you. I'm okay to learn from somebody. My mother used to say, it's nothing wrong with being a copycat as long as you copy the right cat.
And I think that a lot of times when people are coming in the beauty industry, you really don't even know what type of professional you're going to be yet when you get out of hair school. You know what I mean? Like, you have an idea of the beauty industry when you're not in it, but once you get in it, am I fit to be a salon owner? Is
Right.
that really what I'm cut out for?
That's
it's
right.
actually too much work having to cater to all these personalities. You know, I would rather be a traveling stylist. Maybe I should go on the road and be an educator. You know, it's just, it gives you that time to see. You have to, along with being under proper leadership, you have to like also learn yourself in the beauty industry. Like, who am I? Like, what is my place here? You know, and I don't think that when you make that decision too soon, you can kind of like mess up the process, and then you in shoes that maybe wasn't for you. You know what I mean?
Then you find yourself burnt out and tired because you didn't take the proper steps, or you kind of got ahead of yourself. I get exactly the fact that you knew you wasn't ready. Like, how did you know? Like,
I knew because, for one, it was just owning a business. It also takes a different version that you has to show up. I knew that whenever the time came, I was always a leader. I was never a follower. You know, when it came to friends and just being in school and personal relationships, I was never a follower. But it requires a different level of leadership when you get into these shoes, a selfless type of leadership. You know, you have to be willing to, you have to lead and not compete. You have to understand when it's time to pass the torch.
That's right.
You know what I mean? And at a time when I started at 17, I was still a child. You know what I mean? I was still having fun and doing different things and still just learning myself. And I just knew that a lot of times I had to grow emotionally as a person, you know, because I may have handled people in different conversations. I may not have been as professional as I could handle a situation now 10 years ago when somebody wanted me to help open up a salon. You know, I would have done a lot of things differently. I would have done a lot of things out of ego because where I was. And I just enjoyed, and I had a lot to learn still. Wow. I didn't know enough to walk away and be somewhere by myself. I wanted to be in a place now. I have stuff to give people who work up under me. I have stories to tell. I have examples to give them. I have knowledge to share.
Absolutely.
Then we could have kind of been like the blind leading the blind.
That's right.
You know what I mean?
That's
and who wins? I would have stunted my own growth doing that. You know, and I understood that. And for me, I genuinely liked where I was. You know, I do think at a point, fear made me stay longer than I should have, because that's a real thing too.
That's absolutely.
You know, I think fear did keep me there longer than I should have. But overall, you just have to know yourself, you know, and everything is not about collecting booth rent.
That's right.
You know, because it's not always what it seems when you get in that position. You know, it's maybe months of you paying for the business by yourself before you get to see it paying for itself. That's know, so it's like, no, you gotta just really know why you're doing what you're doing, because now we at a climate where all the greats are separated. You know, there's no dream team, the salons where people are excited to go work at because you want to go work with all these people. Like, I miss those days.
I do too.
I miss those days for the people that's coming in, you know, because I was able to, that shift happened when I was in the beauty industry, but I wish so badly for the girls that's coming out of hair school to be able to feel that salon culture. Like, it's so different.
It's funny you said that, because when I was in school, you were absolutely right. I couldn't wait to graduate because I wanted to work with those salons, the dream team salons.
You was proud to say where you worked at.
Okay, so when I was coming up, it was a hair salon called Fly Styles. Okay, they were the hottest salon in Cleveland. Okay, and it was hard to get in there. She had a wait list. Where's those salons? Where are they? Where's the salons that got a wait list to get in there, guys? We gotta bring those shops back. Where are they?
And two, another reason why I wanted to wait, you saying that, because I had worked around so many great people early in my beauty industry. I did not want to work at a hair salon where I was just taking people in just because I needed to fill chairs. Wow. I didn't want to work, and that's not... Everybody is an underdog at some point and has to come up and make their name. But I wanted to work around great people. That's right. Even when I opened up the doors. So it was like, if I just got to open up a salon just to say I have a salon and nobody knows the people in it and they lack the hustle, the talent, the skill, the passion to learn. Right. What am I doing it for?
And team camaraderie is important. I never wanted to work around people that didn't want to pour into other people. You know what I'm saying? It's so important to build a family within the salon structure, because if we're family, you know, like I was born into a family that I didn't choose, right?
Yeah.
But when I worked in the salon, I was able to choose
that.
literally choose that. And that was so important to me. And I became, too, the change that I wanted to see in the business. Like, I wasn't, anytime I would learn something, I would be so anxious to get back to the salon and teach to everybody else in the salon so we can all grow as a team. And that's, you know, that's almost extinct like a dinosaur. Almost
It
like,
is, and it's,
you know,
it's
because
sad.
as you can see, I met my match. She can talk.
I can.
And she got a lot to
And
say.
will.
Yeah, I know, but it's important that you speak, right? Because I believe industry leaders like yourself, it's like you've been sitting on this. So everything you're saying, I'm letting you speak because I think we need to hear it from
You like my
even,
industry diary right now.
you hear that, guys?